How's it going, Yankee fans? My name is Alex. I'm my co-host here, Nick Nielsen. And today I want to talk about three standout performers in the Yankees Game 1 win over the Guardians in the ALDS last night. Now, I know all of you guys watched it. Hell of a win. A really well-rounded game, as Rizzo said afterward. He was like, we just played a really nice game all around. Good pitching, good hitting, great defense, aside from a couple blunders from IKF. Rizzo, though, he was the hero in my opinion. No, that 2-run homer with Judge on base really built that cushion to 3 runs. It was 4-1, obviously the final score, and he really gave us that little push to give us a little bit of margin between us and the Cleveland Guardians. But, his defensive quality also stood out to me. He was plucking balls out of the dirt. He had that double play, ran down Ramirez, tossed it over to, I think it was Glaber. But altogether, it was just a really nice game. I felt a little bit nervous at first because Garrett Cole was giving me a little bit of scare, that home run, and he loaded the bases, and it was like, okay, what's going on here? Josh Donaldson, didn't go for the double play. He threw it home, and I was like, oh, no, I don't know. Trevino, didn't throw it to first base. He, forced, guy back to third base, didn't throw it to first. I was like, okay, we're definitely playing a risky game, but we're keeping runs off the board. So I guess I'm good with it. A lot of different, kind of polarizing moments, but nonetheless, merging with victory is exactly how we wanted to start this game. Cole on the mound. You gotta be Cleveland's number 3 in Cal Quantrill, who actually had a pretty solid game himself as a rookie. But altogether, really excited. I want to talk about these 3 stand-up performers today, Nick. But before we do, how do you today, my friend?
I'm good. I'm doing great. I mean, yeah, like you said, yesterday's game was great. Hell of a game, hell of a win. Everyone did their job and then some. The offense definitely could be a bit better. I mean, 5 hits over 9 innings against the Cleveland Guardians is not ideal, but you hit home runs, you win the game. So, fortunately, 2 of those 5 hits were home runs. And of course, 2 of those guys are featured on the 3 that we're talking about today. But I'm great, man. Yesterday was a perfect way to start off the postseason. Battle back a little bit from adversity, show that you have what it takes and you're not going to fold this time around. And no, hey, we can win this game. It's a 9-inning game. Like you said, 3rd inning, rough inning. Let's be real, rough inning. Gave up the home run to Quan, who only hit 6 in 159 games in the regular season, or 150 games in the regular season, or whatever. He managed to hit one off of Cole, porched it. Definitely, it was like a 190 expected batting average on it. So it's really, that's just unlucky. And then the sequence of events that followed was all right, this looks like it's going to be another one of those games. Offense is going to have to wake up. But no, Cole shut that down, battled back, went 3 1/3 more innings, did the job, and then some, and got his standing ovation, which he said was very special to him. So I don't know. I'm very happy for Cole. People seem to think that me specifically, and a lot of people here at Fireside, don't like Garrett Cole. That's just absurd to me. We love Garrett Cole. We don't like Garrett Cole giving up home runs, because why would you? And he did it for 9 straight games going back into the regular season. So that was the only thing we don't like about Garrett Cole. He still pitches well, and yesterday he did everything and then some that you could have wanted out of an ace.
You want to know? What I love the most? I love when we're critical of a player and they come back with an elite performance. I love
Yep.
that. We're freaking Yankee fans at the end of the day. We're critical because it's our job. We're critical because we want them to play the best as possible. And when they're like, you know what, screw you, Nick, screw you, Al, screw you, Ryan, whoever it is, I'm gonna go out there and kick some serious ass. I'm like, thank you. This is why we're critical, because we want you to play like this. You know what I mean? And every Yankee fan, it goes for them too. Now, do I support the hate speech and stuff like that and the crazy stuff? So, no, of course I don't support that stuff. IKF getting death threats or Joey Gallo not being able to leave his apartment. No, of course, these guys are human beings. I'm not going to say here and call them whatever. But if you're going to abandon your team like Aroldis Chapman, still not going to give you death threats. That's freaking crazy. However, I am going to be critical of you and say that you abandon your team and are acting like a child. Which I think
Thank you.
is
Exactly.
warranted.
You can call him a roll doofus and say, have fun in Miami, you bozo, but you don't have to send the guy death threats. I don't know how some fans take it so far. And Garrett Cole, again, if he had a start yesterday, like Max Scherzer had, or like Alek Manoah or Kevin Gausman had, he would have never heard the end of it, or like Justin Verlander had. Fortunately, Robbie Ray doesn't know how to pitch a baseball, so Verlander got off the hook. But if Cole had one of those starts yesterday, it would have been the end of his days. And it's just because the narrative around Garrett Cole is that he's not a big game pitcher. Ryan brought up a great number yesterday, 2.83 ERA now in 97 innings, or in 95 innings pitched in the postseason. This is not a bad postseason pitcher. This is not a good postseason pitcher. This is an elite postseason pitcher. Give him some credit. Give him his flowers. So I don't know. Yesterday, he shut up every single possible hater against him. but I hope that we can just use this as momentum and keep rolling with it. Like Rizzo's home run yesterday, which we'll talk about a little bit in this episode, that like at bat was an incredible at bat. And then he just waited for the mistake, and bada bop boom pow, Quantrill threw a cutter literally right down the middle of the plate, and Rizzo sent that to Aroldis Chapman's Miami residence. That shit was gone.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, honestly,
he wrote on
look,
the two before he hit it. It said, "Wish you were here."
No, thanks for staying home. More like
appreciate the sacrifice.
Appreciate the sacrifice that we could get some of these other guys back. But no, you're spot on. Cole, he after that home run locked it down. The defense played well. Oswaldo Cabrera, nice catch in left field. Rizzo scooped a couple balls out of the dirt, looked great. Donaldson looked fine. Jose Trevino obviously did his normal stuff. Had a couple of moments where I was like, okay, that's not the usual, but a little first game one jitters is nothing to be concerned about. Yankees won anyway. Now they're feeling good. They're feeling confident. They know that they can win these games and they can start off strong. But Coleman, he went out there and put on a show. Like ultimately, end of the day, 1 earned run over 6.1 innings, 101 pitches. If it rains out tomorrow, it gives him even more rest. We're going to need him on short rest this postseason for sure. So having him, yes, Bieber gets an extra day of rest, but we can beat Bieber. Like we can just get into their bullpen. They have a good bullpen, but we can beat them. Like it's possible. And Cal Quantrill in 5 innings gave up 3 earned runs and 4 hits, but this is a scenario where I think the Yankees have a lot of leverage. Nestor Cortez, if he plays tomorrow or whether it's Friday, I'm very, very confident in Nestor Cortez, whether it's up against Shane Bieber or anybody else, he can match them. He's that good. And he's been so talented and he's just great, man. Like I really have a lot of faith in Nestor Cortez, and he's been great against the Guardians this year specifically. So I think that's also another thing to point out. But, Rizzo's kind of performance here, that was one that they needed. Without his performance, the Yankees might have lost this game. There could have been a couple errors. IKF had a ball that skipped. Jose Trevino had a ball that skipped. He scoops them all up. He had that double play in the 8th inning. He came up big with the home run. He was the difference maker. He won that game. Yep. I mean, aside from Cole's performance, I thought he kind of won that game for the Yankees altogether because they could have had 3-4 runs if Rizzo wasn't there. So I do give him a lot of credit. I think that he was probably the hero, the standout performer in this one. Cole is a close second just because of his resiliency, and he came up through it. He got better as the game went on, which is what I love to see from Cole. Sometimes he starts slow and works into his game. He gave up that solo shot, and then sometimes he gets rattled and starts giving up hits and starts giving up more homers. This time around, he just locked it down. He freaking looked dominant in the last 2 innings. They almost threw him out there for the 7th inning. They're like, no, let's also be careful with this because we need him. But I loved his performance. I was very, very happy to see he perform this well. And the other guy I want to give a big shout out to is Harrison Bader. Harrison Bader came up big, tied that game with an absolute freaking laser in the bottom of the 3rd inning after Quan hit that solo shot in the top of the 3rd. But Harrison Bader, his tracking abilities in center field, his energy, getting all hyped and stuff.
I love it.
That's this type of stuff. You don't value that because you can't see it on paper, but it helps the players. Those intangible traits go a long way. And I'll tell you what, that moment, that home run in his first at bat in the postseason as a Yankee made the Jordan Montgomery trade justifiable. That one moment. Yep. And I imagine if he continues to hit, he's going to be even more valuable. This is a player who has the capabilities. He has star attributes, right? He has attributes that are star elite level. And if you can get the most out of him, you're going to see the Yankees be a very difficult team to beat. When he's your number 9 hitter, your freaking number 9 hitter before Judge gets on base, a single from him drives in Harrison Bader if he's on second. You know what I mean? Like here's the thing. Yeah, here's what I like about Harrison Bader. You get him on first base. Let's say he walks, gets a single, right? He'll steal that second base. And then Judge, being an absolute monster, hits a single. That's a run. You know what I mean? It's that simple. The equation is that simple. And Harrison Bader can really take advantage of that. What are your thoughts on these guys?
No, you hit the nail on the head. Like every one of those performances was great. Yesterday in the post game that Ryan and I did, my standout performer was the bullpen simply because of all the adversity that they were going into the game facing, but more so Aaron Boone's management of the bullpen and his management of Cole. He let Cole go as long as he could. Then he figured, hey, 101 pitches, it's probably best we get you out of there. Don't want to have anything come up. Don't want to have you have something come up in your arm. Don't want to have you give up another home run because you missed your spot by accident. So he managed the bullpen really well. But no, dude, Bader, I've been trying to think of someone that Bader reminds me of from this Yankees team, and I don't know what it is, but something about him just screams Johnny Damon. Granted, he at least has a cannon of an arm, but the way he plays center field with that same ability to get to balls that you never thought someone could get to, and he cuts off plays really well. Watching him at bat, he's not a guy that's really going to walk a ton, but he's also not going to strike out a ton. Puts the ball into play a lot, has some sneaky pop, great speed, and his energy just reminds me of Johnny Damon. And as we all know, Damon played a big role in 2009. I mean, sure, he was 36, doesn't matter. Still played a huge role that season. So everyone stepped up and then some. And that's what you need. Judge was 0 for 3 yesterday with 3 strikeouts, but he worked that walk, stole second, and advanced to third. And then, like, that was great job by Judge. But when your superstar guy goes 0 for 3, you need the rest of the lineup to step up. And they did, especially the bottom half of the lineup. Like, granted, IKF grounded into 2 double plays. He was probably the worst player yesterday. But that's saying something if we still won the game 4-1, despite having 2 ground ball into double plays, despite having an error or 2 from him. We still pick each other up. And that's, I don't know. I think all 3 of these guys that we talked about in this episode just did their job, and impressed. Like Rizzo, he only had 1 hit, but the 1 hit was the biggest hit of the entire game. So I don't know. I think it was just
absolutely.
A great,
I mean, look, this is yeah, it was. They clicked on all cylinders. It was well-rounded. That's what you want to see from this team, and hopefully they can continue to put together performances like this. But, guys, I'd love your perspectives below on Rizzo, Cole, Harrison Bader, some other guys you think that stood out. There are going to be some guys we'll talk about in the near future, maybe tomorrow. If the game gets rained out or just in the morning, just preparing for it, we'll talk about the pitching matchup and whatnot and kind of who needs to step up in this contest in game 2. But, of course, love that everyone's showing so much support to this Yankee squad. It's been great. Love all the support on the channel. Really appreciate you guys as always. Make sure to like, subscribe, enjoy the beautiful weather today in Manhattan if you're in New York City. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So get outside and enjoy a drink or go to the park and spend some time with friends, family. It's definitely one of those days you got to appreciate before the winter months come around. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Much love as always. And we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees.